What do I do? What do I do?
You could try the suit.
Jessica?
Yeah, hey Alex, I kind of implanted a subdermal communication device in you last time we met up.
What?
Anyway, try the suit.
But it's a prototype.
Try the suit!
Fine. This better work.
Michael from that ASBOM. In the meantime, I'll make a few calls to stop this plane from crashing.
Alright, here goes. Woohoo! I'm coming, Michael. I'm coming. And welcome to another episode of the Hellbound Podcast. This is, I wouldn't say it's a special edition, but it's definitely a Christmas episode.
Considering you're wearing a Santa outfit. Yeah. Yes.
This is my wife's kind of dressing gown, all in one, a pullover, and then it's got a generous opening to get into it at the bottom, which whatever that means.
But in case people don't know who's talking, the man in the Santa suit is Alex Blackburn. He runs Hellbound, and he's also an amazing sound engineer, because our intros are fire!
Yeah, I appreciate that, Michael. And I'm always joined by the amazing Michael Chan, I would say dear friend now.
Because I would hope we're friends.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely are. Whichever doppelganger this is, yeah.
It's the Gengar. You know what? Like, I decided to wear a Pokemon hat for a Christmas episode, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am the Pokemon trainer doppelganger. Yeah. So I battle using animals that I have in captivity. Pokemon is a horror anime, because just think about it. You go out there, right? You beat up on and capture like wildlife, shove them the little balls to digitize them into a void of some sort. And like, if you don't want to use them, if you don't want to use them in battle, they just get put into a computer. Like where are they? What do they do all this time in the computers that they're stored in? And of course, if they're not in the computer where they're safe and sound, they're out beating each other up for humans.
Yeah, I've never really looked at it like that before.
And if you think about it this way, so Pokemon have gods, like god Pokemons. Of course, a little 12-year-old kid goes up to this god Pokemon, gets their Pikachu to zap it, and then they put him in a ball. So essentially, you're capturing all your gods in the balls.
It's all
this episode has gone off the rails. Do you want to start with some FU? Let's start with some FU. I would like to bring up that after the last episode, my recommendations on Facebook, like ads that are recommending things for me to buy, are all vibrators. They call it muscle massagers and back massagers, but no, they're vibrators. That episode has ruined everything.
Yeah, and I think the same episode ruined my searches, because when I was putting some audio together for the intro and other future elements, I was looking up any manner of disaster or plane explosions and the ripping of sound of spines ripping and all sorts of things. And there was actually a search for tearing broccoli as well. So my search is all over the place right now as well.
Yeah.
So I'd like to chat about, seeing as though this is our kind of last episode for this year, would you say?
I would say so, yeah.
I'd like to talk about...
Isn't there like a next week?
There is, but that will, yeah. So that could. That
I
might
don't know if
actually-
this are we since we're so new, we don't even know if we're taking a break for a week.
If we can do an episode next week, that's great. But I think it'll actually fall on. When will that fall on? That will fall on the 1st of December. That'll come out the 1st of December. 1st of January.
First?
Yeah.
That's the 1st of January?
Yeah, next a week on Saturday. Wow.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. You see, yeah, you're right. Wow. Okay, never mind. We might not be doing an episode next week.
If we are free though, we can absolutely smash that next week.
Yes, and pretend it's the new year and then the world explodes and yeah, we'll never have it released.
Yeah, I'm actually constructing a shed outside my father-in-law, so I'm gonna brave the British winter weather to construct
Nice.
the shed. It's actually gone from a shed to a storage unit to somewhere where I'm going to be shooting video. So it's changed into some sort of production house now.
Yeah. Now, if there is an Armageddon, listeners, as a Pokemon trainer, I do experiment with my Pokeballs, and it turns out I can actually digitize human beings. So, I have a giant hole that I dug in my backyard, and if the world is ending and you want to be digitized and put into a digital void where you won't age and you won't have to eat, you won't have to go to the washroom, you won't have to sleep, I'll digitize you and throw you into the hole, and we can all go in there. And when the aliens come, they can accidentally release you back into the world, and you've survived the Armageddon.
Depends on what the aliens have planned for you.
Unless they figure out how to mess with the data. Then you're dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Chance of survival, Pokeballs.
I haven't seen that for. I used to be obsessed with Pokemon Go. I used to play that quite a lot, and there was large gatherings at the castle, which in the town I used to live in Flint Castle. It was the most amount of people that have ever been there because of particular Pokemon at this ruin.
Yeah.
So it was a very unusual start to that game when it first came out because people were going crazy, absolutely crazy, and that was a sight to behold. So I'd like to talk about Christmas horror movies, and if you've got any particular favorites, and I'd like to talk about 3 or actually 2 that I've seen recently that
All right.
really I was pleasantly surprised by, and one in particular that had been talked about for quite some time called Black Christmas. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. I watched. Oh wait, Black Christmas or no, never mind. I have seen the original, the 1974.
Yeah, that's the one with is it Margot Kidder for the
Margot Kidder, and I do believe it's filmed here in Toronto.
That's right, yeah. And I just wanted to bring up the details. And there's a 2019 version.
Mm-hmm.
God, that sounds horrific.
I was thinking about another one which I watched, which was Black Friday, but let's talk about Black Christmas.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Black Friday. First off, do you know what the poster is? Have you seen the poster recently?
Of which version?
Of Black Christmas, the 70s version.
Yeah, are we talking about the one with the house in the face?
Yeah, it's a holly wreath with
that version of it.
with the girl in the middle with a plastic bag over her head and a lit candle next to her. She's in the rocking chair that's in the film.
And there's a quote, right? Like a slogan, like if this picture doesn't make your skin crawl, it's on too tight.
It's horrific. If you've not seen this film, this particular character in the movie, I can't remember her name, but she's never discovered.
No.
And that house is being towards the end of the film, the house is swarmed by lots of police officers. So I don't know where they're checking really. Surely you check every space.
So just as a little tidbit, the casting director for this film was Karen Hazard. May she rest in peace. And she was one of my teachers back in film school. She trained me in the art of the addition. I can attribute my early success in my career to some of her teachings.
Oh, wow, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Did she ever talk about the film or casting it at all?
Absolutely, she talked quite a bit about it. Just about how it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It was she wanted to get it right, and so she saw a lot of people for it, and in the end, we got this classic.
Yeah, I purchased it on DVD like I'd say 10 years ago, and it's one of those few that I'd still have in its plastic wrapper.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, this is the right time for it. I need something horror. It was late night. Let's kind of stick this on. And there's so many kind of techniques and sinister things in this film. The performances are really good, and
They are.
some of the kills are absolutely classic, and it's right up there for me in terms of horror. I think like Margot Kidder's really interesting. The first thing Vicky said, she looks about 50 years old in this film, and she's supposed to be a sorority girl, you know.
I found that I have found that Hollywood tends to, and even Hollywood North tends to cast people who look a lot older when they have high school and university / college age people.
Yeah, that's so true, isn't it? Especially back in the day, but it seems really obvious now.
Yeah, it's more obvious now, but I mean, thinking back, maybe they did it because of some of the content in the film. Maybe younger actors or younger people might not be as open to doing stuff like that.
I looked up Bob Clark, who's the director of the film, and if you look at his filmography, he's got some absolutely crazy, like Baby Geniuses, film called TV series called Fudge, The Karate Dog, Turk, Porky's 2, Porky's.
Porky's, yeah.
And I was so surprised he didn't kind of go into horror like John Carpenter.
Yeah.
But I was really, really surprised by that, because I think this film it's right up there. You know, when you're really surprised by something that you've not seen or ever seen, it's like, wow, where's this been all my life? That's what I thought about this in terms of Christmas horror.
I'm surprised you never watched it before.
Yeah, it's one of those that I purchased on my own. I thought, right, this looks interesting from the art, and then never watched it. If you watch this film on your own and you've got, you live in that kind of house, or even a small house or a flat, it will start making you look around the room or look around the space you're in, because it is so creepy, and there could be always someone in your house. I think there's been quite a few films that have been inspired by this movie. During their Christmas break, a group of sorority girls are stalked by a stranger, and this stranger's, I don't think this is a spoiler, even if you haven't seen the film yet. He's in the house, because it's kind of obvious.
He is in the house, yeah.
The characters don't know this until the end.
And that's one of the creepiest parts of it, right? That this whole time he was there.
I'm not sure how long the first two people, is it the first two people he kills? They're in the loft space. How long they're in there? Would it start to stink? How long would it take for the house to stink of the corpses? Yeah, I absolutely love this film. So I'd highly recommend Black Christmas.
How long does it take for dead body to smell?
I think your search is going to be really messed up now. 24
to 72 hours.
That's grim. Imagine discovering those two bodies in the loft. One in the rock.
I'm sorry, I'm just checking. There's a Reddit answer too. Let's see. Several factors. Might even start to smell within 10 to 12 hours if it's hot. But I mean, I don't. Is it hot in that house?
I'd say so. It looks like a house that's always got the heating on.
But 24 to 36 hours average.
Wow.
Wow, my search is. Now I want to know what they're gonna advertise to me, like air fresheners.
I've got to tell you a story about that. This is horror. This is real horror. And how how your TV's listening to you. You've got like a Samsung TV and your iPhone and all of that. Where were we? We're in a bargain. It was Home and Bargain. It's called in the UK, and looking for stuff for the car and air fresheners for the car, that kind of thing. And we saw a mojito smell, not flavor, but the smell for a car freshener, and it was in the shape of a Christmas tree. I was like, I'll have that. And what's the other one? There's some sort of mint. I was like, that sounds great as well. Bought both of them. And then Vicky looked at her phone the next day. What was the advert that was pushed to her?
Oh no.
It was for those exact smells.
Yeah, everything listens now. Like sometimes I'll say something and then the next TikTok I get when I load the app is about the topic that I was talking about with my wife or my friends. Oh my god. So after our episode last recording, my TikTok started giving me fart TikToks. I'm just like, this has to do with all the poop talk, right? This has to be. It's like I'm on fart talk now, and it's pretty disturbing. Hilarious, but disturbing.
I don't understand why you're supposed to be catching things out of a mechanical toilet. It's just horrific. It just gives the kids ideas to stick their hand in real toilets.
Oh dear Lord. My kid already sticks her hand down her diaper when she poos and tries to smear. She actually, did I tell you this horror story when she actually fed it to me?
Please tell me the story.
Oh, you want this one? Okay. So here's a little Christmas gift.
The filter then, yeah.
Christmas gift for all of our listeners. Another embarrassing horror story from Michael Chan's life. Although I'm the doppelganger, so this happened to actual prime Michael Chan. So Prime Michael Chan's kid was supposed to be eating crackers. Prime Michael Chan leaves the room for a second and comes back, and his daughter decides to hand him something to eat. Thinking it's a cracker, he opens his mouth and fingers go in, and it's not a cracker. It's a ball of poop. Because it is at that moment, outside of the taste and the smell, that I noticed that, or Prime Michael Chan noticed that his daughter's face was also covered in poo, and that her hands were covered in poo and her clothing. Yeah, in a matter of seconds, she had basically pulled poop out of her diaper and smeared it all over herself, and then fed it to Prime Michael Chan, who proceeded to gag and all the funny stuff that is associated with getting poo fed to you.
I don't think there is any funny stuff.
So there you go, horror story about Prime Michael Chan.
Oh my god.
No, that's me.
I almost had a similar story that happened to me last night because I had food poisoning yesterday, but I caught. Yeah.
Did the doppelgangers actually get to you?
Yeah.
They got to your food.
I think it was the Italian version of you because I went to an Italian restaurant.
Oh, mamma mia! It's me, Michael. That one?
Yeah. I won't say the name of the restaurant because I can't be completely sure it's that because I have COVID-based symptoms at the moment.
What? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's all horrific. And so at 1 o'clock in the morning, I had some awful kind of stomach rumbles. And right, I have to go to the loo now because I fall back asleep. I'm gonna poop the bed. So I went to the loo, sorted myself out, showered everything, and then went back to sleep. And since then, I've had a migraine that feels like an arrow in the head.
Oh no! I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, so it's been a bit of a nightmare the last 24 hours or so. And it stems from Sunday, but yeah, that's for another time.
Well, I don't know. Ian Rayburn would be appreciative.
Yeah, you know what?
Of this story.
These stories, I think it all stems from Ian Rayburn's mind. I think it's kind of comes from...
So he's affecting us. He's the ultimate villain here.
Yeah, Ian, if you're listening, and I know you are, you're the ultimate villain. Your fault.
Actually, since we're talking about Ian, let's do one more quick FU. I just wanted to mention something. Last episode, our guest voice was Katisha Shaw, who's my bestie, and she did an amazing job. Thank you, Kat, for lending us your voice. We're hoping to have more of you later on. But I also just wanted to mention that a horror film that we all made together called Hunting Darkness, it's a short film, has been doing extremely well on the festival circuit. The main monster in that is called an Aswang, and as you all know, the Aswang is currently our doppelganger Michael Chan in our intros. So it is inspired by Hunting Darkness, and Katisha plays the lead, Melissa, and she has just won a Best Actress, Leading Actress award at the Best Shorts competition, which is an IMDb qualifying competition. The film also has an award of recognition as well, so it's a dual award-winning film at this festival. Hunting Darkness also has a bunch of other recognitions, selections, and awards as well, so it is doing well. And I'm actually a character in it as well. I'm Dr. James Yosh, and one of the, not the lead, but a leading character.
And you looked very, very sharp in that film.
Thank you very much.
And this is for Kat.
I do understand she sent you an advance copy, a preview copy.
I absolutely loved it. Yeah, I thought performances were superb. No spoilers, but everything you see at the end, and the location was fantastic. I think you did a sterling job as well, Michael.
Thank you.
But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, and that's something I'd like to talk to Kat about on the show.
I have asked her. We'll have to schedule a time to bring her in. I do want to say that is the first true villain I've ever actually played, because finally somebody saw that I could be a villain.
And it wasn't just the dad. You're not just playing the dad this time.
Right? Not a dad villain either.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, if I was a dad villain, I'd have all the characters call me daddy. Yeah. Right, you! Go chase her down! Yes, daddy. Tie her up! Yes, daddy.
Like when I
knock her out! Yes, daddy.
Yeah. There's a character, one of the main awful individuals in Hellraiser. He says to his niece, "Come to daddy," and it always creeped me out at the end of the film. And he's like, he's just all muscle and flesh and blood. It's very, very creepy. Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations to the entire Hunting Darkness team, and to Kat for her incredible award. And yeah, we'll have Kat on at some point to talk about it. We might also be able to get Ryan M. Andrews, who is the writer and director of Hunting Darkness, as well as some other projects that we are currently working on. He is in my mind at least, a legend of horror over here in Toronto. So hopefully we'll get him as well.
That'd be incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Right.
And just a little FU to what we just said. It was the sound of clapping from me. It wasn't some random naughty sound. So that was clapping. I was doing this.
No, it wasn't. You're just trying to edit, buddy. You know you were enjoying me going, yes, daddy.
Yeah.
Yes, daddy. Oh, yes, daddy.
What's really creepy is you're saying that to me and I look like Santa Claus right now.
Well, it works, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's one last feature film that I watched recently from 1984 that I'd love to talk about. It's called Silent Night, Deadly Night. Have you ever seen this?
I have not, and I am ashamed to not have seen that.
So it's about little Billy witnesses his parents getting killed by Santa after being warned by his senile grandpa that Santa punishes those who are naughty. Now Billy is 18 and out of the orphanage. He has just become Santa himself. And if you watch the first act of this movie, it's absolute, like a psychological kind of masterpiece, I honestly believe, because you truly believe where you can see where this film's going. You truly believe that this guy would easily turn into a serial killer himself. And then when it gets towards the middle and the final act, it really is, it lets itself down because it goes ridiculous. So if it have stuck with how it started off, it would have been, I think it's seen as a classic. I think some people do see this as a classic, but in a kind of higher echelons of horror generally. Yeah, but an absolutely fantastic film, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Have you? I want to talk about one film before we get to the one I saw recently. Have you heard of the 1964 cult classic, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians?
No.
So my wife and I saw this in San Francisco in a theater with a live organ player. It was crazy. But Martian ruler Kimar, played by Leonard Hicks, is upset that the children of Mars are lazy and under the influence of too much pop culture from Earth. They're obsessed with the planet's television programs and don't want to do much of anything. In an attempt to get the kids peppy again, Kumar orders the kidnapping of Santa Claus, played by John Call, hoping that the jolly old toy maker will know how to cheer their children up again. But 2 Earth children are also nabbed, and this complicates things for Kumar. It's so cheeseball, but crazy. It's semi... I think it's horror sci-fi, but yeah.
Oh my god! I'm just looking at some of the images.
It's bonkers.
Now.
Yeah, it's bonkers. Like I remember going to this organ playing event thing, thinking to myself, what on earth did we just get ourselves into? It was the most amazing, wonderful Californian adventure you could take. It's like just such a mind screwing when you watch this thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this now. This is
you
so
need to.
odd.
You really need to. And for 1964, oh my god. Yeah, for those of you out there who have never ever seen this before, look it up. Look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Right.
It will give you nightmares.
That's going in the show notes. We're going to send people some links for that.
So, the Christmas movie that I watched recently with Jess was Black Friday. Starring Bruce Campbell. Also, I think it's co-produced by him as well. And I know that you did not like it.
Yeah, it was very promising. It could have gotten there for me, and the humor reminded me of Evolution to a certain degree. It just misses the mark a little bit, and it's a little bit too ridiculous even for me.
Oh, because I actually have the opposite reaction. It's not a movie I'll watch again. It's not a classic, but it did give me a lot of the old Evil Dead, old school B movie vibes that Bruce Campbell originally became famous for. And I was knowing he co-produced it, I'm not surprised. And I actually had a lot of fun. Like, I think people should give it a try because I find the ridiculousness of it to be the best part of it. Like, I just had a blast. It was so stupid that I couldn't help but smile all the way through.
Some of the kind of creative deaths and the through line of what the aliens was it aliens?
Aliens, yeah.
What they were up to, I really liked that a lot. And I saw there was some elements to it that I really enjoyed, but yeah, it kind of I do like the setting of a supermarket in terms of a horror film, because there's kind of so much fun that can be had. Maybe I watched it on the wrong night. I'll definitely try it again. I think I will try it again.
I guess if you're not in the mood for that, or you've become more accustomed to more modern stuff, maybe that old school style, it just isn't hitting right. I mean, I know like a lot of people are gonna gasp, but I watched Evil Dead in my like 20s. Like, I grew up watching Chinese stuff, like, even though I'm born in Canada, so my parents were my main source of, media. So everything was Chinese, everything was Hong Kong, and it wasn't until I got into university and started truly expanding my taste that I discovered North American horror in earnest. So I was able then to watch things from different eras of horror. And so for me, Evil Dead, I watched that. It was like, later in my life, and allowed me to continue to have an appreciation for that kind of low budget B style. It's never gone away from me. But I do recognize, like, Black Friday, obviously the writing isn't as good as Evil Dead. None of the Evil Deads, right? Like, it's not equivalent, but it is in the same vein, in the same style, almost the same kind of budget if you put inflation into it and modernize the tech. But yeah, like, you have to be in a mood, the right mood for that, for sure.
Yeah, I think my current headspace or ill health, I'll have to basically, I don't think I'm going to try and watch anything that I'm looking forward to the next few days. Right. I want to recover properly. We've got more international listeners now, and hopefully I don't repeat some of these countries, but we've got listeners in Singapore and Qatar now. and also Egypt and Morocco. So welcome everyone.
Welcome. This is amazing. Like, we are growing really quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm happy about that. I would like to continue to encourage people to please, if you get a chance, send us your horror cosplay photos or horror makeup photos for us to feature you on our social media. I'm not sure how up to date people are in listening to our show, to our episodes, but like, we haven't received anything yet, so. At least that I know of. So, did we receive anything?
No, not yet. But
yeah,
you've just given me a great idea. Can you tell us either a DM or a message or comment on our Instagram, which is at the Hellbound Podcast, where you're listening to? Now, not necessarily the country, but are you listening on the toilet? Are you listening when you go to bed? Are you listening on your way to work? Can you tell us when and where you're listening? That
and are you wearing headphones? Are you on like speakers, your computer speakers? Like, where and how are you listening to us?
And is the background ambient sound of the haunted house still working for you? Because my wife said she doesn't like the sound of the flickering fire. So you know,
I admit when I listen.
Yeah, it sounds like it's an audio issue, doesn't it?
I listen to it in the car when I listen to even though we're recording it together, I do listen to our episodes, and it just sounds like crackling, like audio pops, as opposed to a fire. If I have headphones on, which I've done before, it kind of sounds like a fire, but in any other setting, especially if there's enough ambient noise, it drowns out the subtleties of the fire.
Okay, I'll bear that in mind. I think I will kind of address that in the coming episodes. So
cool.
You'll hear us.
But yes, horror cosplays, horror makeup, send them our way. You can DM us on Instagram at the Hellbound Podcast. So everybody, thank you so much for listening. We are quite new and appreciate all the support we've been getting from all of you. For those of you who are new to our show, as we've mentioned, our social media, our Instagram is at the Hellbound Podcast. If you like what you're listening to and want to keep up with us, please consider following and subscribing to our podcast on your podcast app. We are available on all podcast apps, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Podbean, wherever you listen to podcasts, we're there. So subscribe to us, and if you're on Apple and think we deserve it, please give us a 5-star review. That would be very kind of you. That would be a nice Christmas present for us.
Have a good night, Michael. See you soon.
You too, Alex. Take care.